Hey guys, Valakas here, back with another Lineage 2 Revolution video, and today we're going to talk about the loadouts or the presets for different build-outs on your character, how to use them, why to use them, and how I use them, and I guess maybe give you some ideas on how to maybe set these up so you can be more efficient and, have more, build-outs of armor and weapons for what you need in the game and how to get those set up. So what I'm talking about are these little buttons down here where you can quick flip between profiles and switch weapons and gear and things like that. So right now I'm on my number 4, which is my elite farming setup. So we can look at that here. So basically it's my PvP weapons along with a hunt weapon that's attribute level 6 and SR30 enhanced to 14, and it does 80% bonus damage here against elite monsters. So I use this a lot in the elite dungeons. I'll use it for the mobs and rifts, things like that. Some of the mobs in the clan dungeons is a really good setup for that. So my other setups here is on setup 1 here. I guess the other thing is on my setup 4, I have a couple of my active skills on auto with the blue dot. You can turn those on and off by clicking these blue buttons here. So these are like my farming settings, so I want those active. I want my heal on auto. I don't have my missile bolt and meteor on auto because it uses a lot of MP and resources, but you can turn them on if you want. So my number 1 setup is my PvP, which has my garden cloak, as well as my PvP weapon here, obviously. So fighting other players, I'll use this in the pit. I'll use it in sieges. I'll use it sometimes in farming, or if I think there's people trying to PK me, or in the PK dungeon, Dragon's Crater, or the Tainted Dragon's Crater. So there's a lot of things for using this. It also is my setup for field farming, because this is my best weapon for field farming by far, because I don't have a really good farming weapon for the normal monsters. My number 2 setup is basically very similar, except for I've got my blood cloak on here because I often use this in the new dungeon, the Tainted Crater and the Dragon Crater. And when I'm farming some of those spots, and if I hit any of the other mobs, I want to be able to get those blood drops. But I also have my SR30 Branch of the Mother Tree, which is the red rare for magical monsters. So I'll use this in rifts. I'll use this on some of the magical monsters. Boss summoning stones like Amadeus are magical. There's also a few other magical monsters throughout the game, so just keep an eye out for those. My number 3 loadout is my PvP setup with a set of Nassan instead of a set of Elven. So I'll use this when I want some speed. A lot of times farming, like when I used to farm low field cores, or when I'm running through my Elven Runes 1, 2, Ant 1, where I want speed to run between mobs and kill them because I'm one-shotting them all. I'll use this, and also like running back from rifts. Like if you die at Trisha in the rift and you want to run all the way back, I can throw this on. I can run way faster. So that's what I use that for. And they, because I'm not really using this actively, they just have to be S attribute or S level to get the speed attribute from the Nassan. We touched on this, number 4. I also have the blood cloak on this one. And then my 5th setup is kind of a setup to stay alive all night when I'm field farming, when I think people are trying to PK me. So I've got a healing strike on top of my major heal and absolute shield. So it just makes me, and then I go on blue, do not retaliate, and it can take somebody a really long time to PK me in that scenario, especially if there's a lot of people around and they'll draw aggro of other players. So I'll use this if I want to stay alive and be very super defensive. There's a bunch of different ways to use these loadouts. These are just the way I use them. So I encourage you to play around with these, get these set up. You'll notice I have some different auto skills, like on my PvP. I have almost nothing on auto except for my heal, because I want to be very controlled when I use my knockdown and my stuns. Whereas in some of these other farming settings, I'm more apt to just keep them on auto. I'm AFKing, not really watching. So that's how I use my setups. Hopefully there's something you found useful in here. You learned how to set something up. You learned how to turn on your autos or turn them on and off for each skill. Or give you some ideas on how you'd set up your loadouts. So thanks for tuning in another Lineage video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Hellaclash. Subscribe, comment, and like, and catch you later.